Okay, I wanted to get on here and quickly answer your question, Sonata, and I hope I'm saying your name right, but I don't want to spend a bunch of time on the video, but I wanted to answer the question about skin uh, and converting that to black and white for darker color um, individuals. But with this particular image, as you can see, this is the straight out of camera shot. I cropped it. But other than that, you can see that she's a lighter skinned person. And but I still like to kind of play with that and show in the image that even though it's black and white, that she is a person of color. So let me start with, I duplicate my layer, then I go down to the black and white and start to make adjustments there. I begin by um, doing what I normally do for any skin tone, which is to adjust the yellows and the reds. And as you can see, the rest of the image will change colors, but my only concern, of course, is the skin, and I probably make a small adjustment to the reds, not much, but just enough. And I also made, for this image, I made an adjustment to the blues just to brighten the whites. Um, and let's see, might want to take that up just a little bit, the yellows. And there we go. So then I would, of course, merge the layer. I duplicate, and then I go into the shadows and highlights. I only concern myself with the shadows in most of my images when I'm converting them to black and white. So I kind of just fool around here until I like what I see. And let's see. I kind of like that. And let's see, maybe a little bit more tone. There we go. Then I will duplicate that layer twice and then just do the typical uh, uh, dodging and burning, and just so I can keep track of what I'm doing. Then I will go in and I will use a curve. And since this is the lighter layer, I really kind of push that just a little bit, just enough. And I don't really spend a lot of time with that because I know that I can adjust the opacity later. But then I will go in, of course, back to the curves and adjust for the darker, the shadows. And that's about right in there. There we go. Do a layer mask. I grab my brush. I have my flow at 8 or thereabout. I try to do it as light as possible. And then I like starting on the dark, and I just kind of go over. I mean, I'm sure you're familiar with dodging and burning. Probably don't need to go over any of this, but this is kind of what I do, and I'll try to go over little sections of it quickly for you so you can kind of see the difference. And believe me, I did not retouch any of this image before, so there's probably areas that I would want to remove. And I go over the highlighted sections of the image, and I really wanted her face to pop, so I went in quite a bit here and back and forth, just making adjustments. And I don't want to spend a lot of time because I know you probably know how to do this. Anyway, let's back out. So in this particular case, I want to make one small adjustment here. Take a little bit of that off of her cheek. So then I will go in and I do a contrast sometimes. It just depends on the image. And I kind of bump it up just enough to really make sure that the skin is popping. And I mean, you can see a huge difference in that, what I've done. Anyway, that's really quick. And so I hope I answered your question. And if not, just shoot me a message and maybe I can explain it a little further. And I'll try to see if I have an image with someone with much darker skin, and I can try to show you that way. All right, well, thanks a lot.